We are live.
You're not gonna do a count?
Yeah, let's
Oh, we're live.
Yeah, we're just live.
Podcasting live. Welcome to Cod Daddies. Joining me as always on the sticks, you've got the bad dad of Call of Duty. You might know him as Muscle V, but we know him as Dixie.
It is Muscle V.
Okay, you're supposed to say like, hey.
Hello.
And also joining us is our ignanimous producer. That's not a word. Joining us is our producer, the scariest Jew in Jewville, Boo Radley.
Boo Radley in the hizzy for rizzy my shizzy.
That's perfect. Take notes, Muscle V.
Hey.
And of course, joining us as well, our executive producer. No need for shorts because he's always wearing pants. He is the Pants Man.
I believe when the word you were looking for earlier for Boo Radley was ignoramus.
Thank you. And first time on the broadcast, we have our very first guest. Welcome to the show, Lil Dub.
Hola, nice to be here.
Yeah, I assume it's a huge honor for you.
Yeah, it was bullying.
Perfect. We fully support bullying.
Just kidding.
We can't wait to get canceled.
I'm not 100% sure you introduced yourself, by the way.
Oh,
Me?
right. Shit.
Oh.
Well, no, I was going to do mine last.
Okay.
And I, of course, feel free to ask me anything. You know me as Jeeves.
Now, are we throwing the doctor in the front, like Dr. Jeeves, or are we just gonna keep
No,
it
actually,
as
so
Jeeves?
Courtney helped me. So so you guys can call me Jeeves, but my full name is Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Would you need a new name for your wife, by the way?
Jesus Christ.
holding for deployment.
I'm not sure I heard the joke. What was that?
Yeah.
Christ.
Like, is that almost
I
what?
don't want all those Christian gamers on our ass, so I feel like instead of taking Christ, I think you should change it to Christ with a C.
Do you think that religious people are going to be mad that I'm using Jesus?
What
Do you think you're rational?
What if your name was Jesus Crepes, and you just ate a lot of crepes?
Ooh.
That actually kind of fits with my character. Okay, we'll think about that. Let's get back to Lil Dub real quick.
Oh.
Lil Dub, I assume you're on the broadcast to promote something. So what is it?
What do you mean remote something? Like a phone?
Promote, not remote.
Oh, promote. I'm like, I don't know.
Yes. I assume you have a book title or, like a movie you're going to be in.
Did you bring the clip? I want the clip.
I'm so confused.
She's trying to be a
Book title?
superstar. Alright,
Did you
this
write
is her.
Well, fact. I mean, that's true. I want to be the star of the show. I mean, duh.
You want to be the star of the show? You're promoting this show?
No, doesn't matter. Any show.
TV, radio, movie,
Anything.
podcast. What's your preference?
Probably movie. They make the most money.
That's smart. But it is the most work, I think, too, though.
You work for a few months and then you're rich for a while.
Okay, you're rich for a while. What? It sounds like you've got a spending plan.
Absolutely.
This is gonna be her start, though. This is the start to her career.
What's your ideal movie?
Ideal movie. Oh, I love sci-fi. Anything sci-fi.
Okay, so are you going to be like an Alien 4? Is that what we're talking about?
I'm trying to think. I like more of let's say the Maze Runner game, shows, movies, like that kind of sci-fi, futuristic shit. Oh, I'm not allowed. Am I allowed to swear?
Oh my God,
yeah.
We love
it.
Yeah, you are allowed to swear. I got approval from my people.
You're the producer.
Yeah, I know. That's why I got approval for it.
Okay.
Whose people? Okay, whatever. Sorry,
I
Maze
didn't.
Runner. You just want to work with Harrison Ford.
She really wants to work with the Hemsworths. That's the real.
Well, that's true. Like the Marvels. I mean, Liam Hemsworth. Come on now.
Liam. He's not the big one, right? Isn't it Chris?
Or not Liam, it's Chris Hemsworth. I'm sorry. Either
You
one.
don't work.
Actually.
You don't work out with a knockoff
He's got like
Hemsworth.
a third one. He's got a third
brother.
Any brother.
Yeah,
Any
what's
brother.
the third brother? There's a third brother.
You got a good chance of working with a third brother whose name I don't.
That's fine.
Probably Charlie or some
I'll
shit.
find out.
Probably Josh. Probably Josh Hemsworth.
That doesn't sound Australian.
Probably Josh Hemsworth.
Luke.
Oh, there you go.
Any of them.
Okay.
He was in Westworld.
Oh. Who was he in?
Yeah, who?
Ashley Stubbs.
I think he was in both of them, wasn't he? He was in both seasons of Westworld.
Who?
Yeah.
Who was he?
He's Ashley Stubbs.
I don't remember that person. Oh, was...
Enemy UAV active.
No, I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't remember him be there at all.
No names. No names, Bo.
Ashley Stubbs, Westworld's head of security, charged with monitoring host and human interactions and ensuring the safety of the guests.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't remember that at all. Okay. Irrelevant. So are you going to be the star? Are you going to be like the supporting actor? What's your ambition?
I would rather be the star. I don't want to be a supporting anything.
And you want Luke to be your
main character? Yeah.
Love interest or like enemy?
Any of them. Chris. Hello.
Yeah. No, well, we're shooting for Luke right now. I think we established that.
He's probably easier to bug, right, than the other two?
He's definitely.
He's a movie star too. You guys are really knocking him. You're only paying attention because Chris Hemsworth was in the Marvel movies.
I want you to think about it this way though. If you get Luke, more money for you. So.
That's true.
Who's the one? Who wasn't one of them dating Miley Cyrus? Was that a thing?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, he's married to her. Liam was.
If you're married, you're dating. You can do both.
Well, I mean, she's a little weird, right?
She's super weird. A little is very, very generous.
I mean, that was kind of a weird matchup to begin with.
There is no one that Miley Cyrus would be matched up with where you'd be like, oh yeah, that's normal. That makes sense.
Me?
Yeah, that would be insane because you would be dating a non-Jew. That would be crazy.
She's not Jewish?
I can't imagine. I can see her being Jewish. There is no way that Achy Breaky Heart is Jewish.
First off, I thought Hannah Montana was Jewish.
Almost no chance.
Ryan, are you really? I'm surprised you didn't start the show with this. But aren't you excited? T.J. Watt won Defensive Player of the Year.
I am excited. I didn't see that actually. I'm not up to date.
The NFL. I had no idea they were actually on sorry. I forgot about the TV show.
I didn't know there was a show.
Yeah, it's on ABC. Mike Vrabel just won Coach of the Year.
Oh, that's good. Fair. Old
But
kid
tell,
guy.
was Mike Vrabel's mom your teacher or something? Wasn't that a thing?
First off, it's Muscle V, and she was a principal at one of the schools in the area.
The fact that you have to correct everybody means it's not real.
Well, to be fair, B-Rad is getting stuff wrong anyways.
I'm not B-Rad, I'm Boo Radley.
Sorry, Boo Radley.
Yeah, how dare you? Lil Dub.
Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird fan? I don't think
that's what I'm Boo Radley.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Have you ever read it as well?
In high school, and I do know I'm older than all you guys, so it's been a while since I've been in high school.
That is the correct time to have read it, though.
There's no way you're older than me. I'm like, what? How old am I, Ryan? Like 60?
Mentally, you're 91.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
Well, mentally I'm 21, but...
Oh, my God. You're so young compared to him. All right, so we got to get some segments out of the way. Boo and Pants, I assume that you guys watched the feed last night and have notes. So I thought you could score our performances from yesterday.
Yeah, okay, I can handle this one.
Yeah, or be completely silent. It'd be great.
Curtis, do you want to do this one, or do you want me to?
I want you to take this one. The thing is, I'm just really busy. I don't know if you can appreciate as the executive producer. It's hard for me to contribute in the conversation because I'm monitoring the levels and really busy.
Can I change my title to?
You're also going to be scoring, so get ready.
Can I change my title to consulting producer?
If you end up doing anything.
Loadout drop inbound.
Okay, so here are the scores for last night's performance.
I also want you to give Lil Dub a projected score, right? So you can compare them all.
This section of the podcast called Reviews with Brad, it's sponsored by Continental.
First of all, it's not Reviews with Brad. That's not the section, man.
Oh, sorry. Reviews with Boo Radley.
Thank you. Reviews with Boo.
With Boo.
With Boo Views with Boo Radley.
Perfect.
It's sponsored by Continental. The best stuff.
The butthole brand? Okay.
Continental.
Great.
Okay. Vitaly, you got a B+.
Nope. No.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Muscle V. Come on.
Oh my God.
Big Daddy V? I don't even know what it is.
That's fine. As long as it's not his actual name, we're fine.
We'll edit that in post-production. Sorry, Kurt.
No, you won't.
Sorry, Pants Man. We're work for you.
Let's get to the safe zone.
Work I will definitely do.
Keep going.
Out there is wondering what I'm going to be doing right now. Just putting water in my Brita filter.
I want you to be finishing the segment.
Sorry,
At least stay on mic. Jesus.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. So, performances. So for Big Daddy V, I will give him a B+ because even though he did not talk often, when he did talk, he said something inspirational, motivational, and truly spiritual.
Are you saying everything he said was motivational, inspirational, and spiritual?
Yes.
Or one of them?
It's the trifecta.
Jean,
It's just you and them.
because it took such a long time to figure out what your name would actually be, I think you're going to see mine.
Why is that my fault?
Well, because you have no redeeming qualities. You think of a fun mystery for you.
That shouldn't reflect my grade on the
Time will be different.
I think you a B-. You had some pretty good segments.
You mean him laughing or him making people laugh?
Him laughing. Because Curtis does not really laugh. He's not really a happy person. So being able to see the side of him is very nice.
So you gave him a better score than me because he laughed a couple times and because I didn't have a name.
Sorry, the bar is set higher for you. I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And for Little Dub,
for me.
Little Dub, I'm projecting you at a B.
Oh my God, you're projecting her the lowest?
Well, wait, and then of course myself, Boo Radley, A.
You give yourself an A- or an A?
Okay.
So just to be clear, you think that Lil Dub's going to bring down the show?
No, I gave her a B. It's her first time.
That was the lowest score, right?
No, you got a C-.
Oh, I bring down the show. Okay, and you raise it up.
Well, you know what they say. You can't have Twitch without the witch.
So we do have a little dilemma.
Okay, well, would you like to hear my evaluation so far?
Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. V-Locker, you've been a 9. I need you at the 7. Jeebus, you've been at a 7. I need you at the 9. Boo Radley, you were at an 11, and I'd like you to be at a 6 plus a 5. And for the new one that I don't remember the name of already,
Well done.
You've been great so far. You have been a perfect score, which is a 5.
Absolutely.
What is this
Absolutely
scoring
not.
system that we're in right now?
You told me I'm at an 11 and you gave me at a 5 and a 6?
5 plus a 6.
Yeah, like a 5 and a 6. You were at 11, which I get it. Like, I get you're 11, but let's break it down. A 5 and a 6. That's what we need from you.
Your perfect is a 5, I believe I caught, and you could be
What
somewhere
else would be perfect?
Yeah.
Like, you've heard of the star system, like 5 stars. Like, it's just intuitive, I think.
I think this is our first kickoff. It's a podcast of explaining the ranking system.
Or just ranking things and then never explaining it, but then you're trying to suss it out through all the things he's ranking.
I do love the idea of doing a ranking where it's like, that one's an A, the next one's a 5, the one after that's a gold star. Like, just completely uncomparative ratings.
Yeah, but you know the guys at Reddit, they'd figure out what it meant. They would normalize it, and they would be like, oh, yeah. Pants Man dropped a watermelon. We know exactly what that means.
I mean, I think they might.
Great.
So we may have a dilemma, you know, as we bring more guests onto the show. Lil Dub and I do know somebody whose name is Pants. So how would that work?
Wait, what?
Yeah, their nickname is Pants.
That is truly her nickname, yes.
Oh, her nickname, not her
Well,
name.
you know what? That's okay, because she sounds like she might be female, and I'm not, and I'm Pants Man, so
she's
I don't think
Pants
anybody
woman?
would confuse.
We just call her
great.
Pants.
Is that name based or like feature based?
I mean, she just always has issues with pants, whether they're ripped or something like that. And it's been an ongoing thing. That's been her nickname is Pants.
I was not expecting her to have problems from the
You name her after her biggest deficiency? Is that what you're telling me? What a great way to give people a name. Why don't you guys use that system?
I have a question.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the kind of point of nicknames if something happens and then a joke coincides with it and that's how it sticks? Typically.
For normal people. That's usually how it is. Not for us.
I don't know if you've heard our names. We clearly have no idea how these names work.
Yeah. So it's been. I mean, you know, flubby muscles over there wants to
eliminate all enemies.
I'm sorry, that's canon now.
Wait, Flubby Muscles? That's a great nickname for him.
Flubby Muscles. What?
We just call him Flubby? That's great.
Wait, I have a question. Maybe I missed this part. How do Flubby Muscles and Lil Dub know each other?
They work together.
Yeah, we used to work together at the Biz.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's both said that and typed that out. So
I
reason not to.
So now that I can harass him, when he first came on, he was a total douche when I met him.
That sounds right.
I was normal
He
person.
sat right next to me and thought he was on some high horse in this piddly little company we worked for. He was such a douche.
Everything you're saying tracks.
I was pretty sweet, pretty badass.
He thought he was going to come in and be a CEO of a company that had literally 20 people working there. It was, you know.
Okay, I didn't think that.
This also sounds like when we all first met him, exactly how he was. Why did you make the mistake of changing your mind on him?
That is a good question.
He wore me down.
Yeah, that sounds right. All of that adds up.
And then we would just make fun of him, and he has a thicker skin and just went along with it, so that helped out.
But he's been making fun of his whole life.
Yeah.
Also
Meat Rag. He
Meat Rag.
spent the entirety of college and post-college just building a callus to the non-stop beratings and verbal beatings we've given him.
I wish that was true. I don't think he started with the callus. Like, he just never cared.
Yeah, I just don't care.
That's fair.
And then when I'm CEO, you guys are all fired.
Oh.
Oh my God! You beg me every other week to one day work for you.
Yeah, you're gonna work for me one day.
Yeah, so that he can overtake you and then fire you. Why else would you work for someone?
Well, that's true. He probably.
What would your company
be? He probably
be?
a bigger douchebag.
What would the company be? Just wherever, I don't know.
Classic CEO. All the vision.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna make a lot of money with that idea.
I have an idea. We're gonna sell muscle T-shirts.
with no muscles. I don't know. I'm missing the whole muscles thing.
That's accurate. First of all, they're muscle V shirts.
Oh yeah, muscle t-shirts. Yeah.
Oh my God. Could you guys picture V Money, Muscle V, just on the first day of his job, being all high as shit, like high and mighty? Oh, I can picture this, no problem.
It's already, yeah. It was.
Oh.
Can I tell the story, Muscle Slug?
Absolutely.
You tell whatever you want. Just no names, no nothing like that.
Yeah, no names. That's our best. That's what we try to stick to.
Okay. He like sat by me or whatever, and this company is, it was like small, it was like mom and pop, like, whatever. I remember him printing out his job description that he was quote unquote hired under, which, our company, it was just on paper, it wasn't real. And he wanted to change all of it, and I laughed at him.
And I did.
Go right ahead.
I did change every single piece of it.
Yeah, and did it get you anywhere?
No.
Exactly, because it was really just paper, and that's why I laughed at you, because I was like, oh, this kid's in for a rude awakening.
To be fair, I did nothing for like 3 months, so
but
I needed to look busy.
Well, you also annoyed me, so.
I mean, that's
all of this is adding up.
Part of the job.
Okay. Part of the job.
Does Lil Dub know that dude who came to your bachelor party tonight?
She does. He's a Bengals fan. Oh. He's coming to the. He may be coming to the Super Bowl party this weekend.
You're having a Super Bowl party?
Yeah.
I don't recognize you at all.
We're going to Pam's house or apartment.
Oh.
I thought you were saying you were hosting a Super Bowl party.
No.
I also thought that, which would be very weird choice.
Yeah, that's not surprising that he's going to a party. It would be weird if he was hosting a party.
Well, I have a little baby.
Well, yeah, it's still, like, we're still COVID, so, like, things are still super weird, but, yeah, it would be very weird if you were hosting a party with a very little baby.
It's just really weird if Vitaly was hosting.
There you go. That's definitely his name.
I'm going to call him Avicii. That's going to be his nickname.
Avicii's sweet. I actually like Avicii.
I'm the man. Alright, quick score update in the Kill Battle 5. 0-0 since we've started this.
Well, it's been 1-1, but it cancels each other out.
Whatever. I do have a sniper, though.
Just so you guys know, Boo Radley is not going to be on late tonight.
Loadout drop inbound.
Yeah, you're definitely staying for the whole show, which is fine. You'll be okay.
Nah, I'm tired. I had to run a basketball league tonight.
Okay. So many questions.
So who are you guys going for the...
run a basketball league?
So one of the programs I oversee is our middle school basketball league. So we had our evaluation and draft tonight. So I had to run that.
All right, I don't care about this. Do you have any more stories about how you're a nutcase? Because I think Lil Dub definitely needs to get a flavor for that.
I'm trying to think. Anything I did ridiculous today at work? Let's see. I'm still thinking.
Okay, but we'll come back to that segment. It should be early in the show. Like, you should have that ready to go.
I don't always do ridiculous things. Sometimes I just do normal people things.
Absolutely false.
You don't always recognize that what you've done is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, you should like send a text to someone at work and be like, hey, what ridiculous thing did I do today?
I took a picture of my room sign to send it to you.
You did what?
On my door. I don't know why I called it my room sign. My name plate on my door.
Classic room sign.
that was really weird. Sorry.
I mean, I guess it is a room sign.
Usually, for the audience, just so you guys know, usually I'm very good with words.
Yeah. You guys all doing Wordle? You guys all caught up in that?
No.
No, I never.
What is this Wordle thing?
Oh, Wordle's great.
It's everywhere.
So obnoxious.
You should like it. You're an English major. 100% of what you did in college was words.
No, was it? Half the time Curtis did nothing in college.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Curtis, do you still work at the writing center?
Pants man.
No.
His pants man.
For a decade.
That would be funny though if you went back and volunteered as like 100-year-old.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say. I thought you'd be like, actually, I'm back as a volunteer.
Well,
I don't work
actually, I actually did volunteer like for a semester or two after I
remember.
graduated.
I was still in college.
Or is
But I
it just
think
because
the
you were already on campus? You're like, why not? Or did
Well,
you
it
love
was
words
because
so
I
much?
started this job, and I thought that my job would, and I was more or less right about this, would be so kind of pointless and not creative that I would just be kind of bored and my brain would turn to mush. So I thought it'd be good to have a kind of intellectual pursuit outside of work. And I did it mostly because I had friends at the writing center and I wanted to like hang out with them like I did when I worked there. But pretty much within a semester or two, really I think just one semester, pretty much everybody that I enjoyed obviously like graduated or whatever and disappeared. And I was like, I don't want to be around these like children anymore.
These very young kids, yeah. It is weird when you're in college. If you're there for a year too long, everyone suddenly becomes 13. Like it's really confusing.
Yeah.
What if we had as our other spinoff show, Pants Man had to go work back at Subway for like a month.
Oh my God.
It was just him being miserable for a full month.
I still have nightmares where I work at Subway.
You want to do this as a Twitch stream? Is that what you're telling me?
It could be anything.
Could it?
So I think
you guys are format the show.
It would just be like it wouldn't be a Twitch show. Sorry, it'd be YouTube
okay.
reality.
So when you said it could be anything, you meant it could be a very few things.
Well, I wasn't really listening at that point. I'm not gonna lie, because I was reading all the new coaches in the USFL.
Right.
You guys are missing a golden opportunity to ask Lil Dub about more stories about me. Just saying.
Really?
Yeah, that's a good point. Boo, do your interview section.
So you really want a
I mean, keep it mild, obviously. Like, we're trying to build cred here.
Okay.
You know, tear them to pieces. That would be great.
Okay, because it's not going to work out well for you.
Perfect. That's the kind of content we're looking for.
I'm going to do the question segment a little differently, where I'm going to ask people random questions that make no sense and not related in any way.
Smart.
Ryan, how do you feel about Todd Haley being the head coach of the Tampa Bay? SGs.com. How do you feel about Todd Haley being the head coach of the Tampa Bay Bandits?
I have absolutely no feelings about that.
The Tampa Bay Bandits were the team in the 80s that were owned by Burt Reynolds.
I don't care, and it's not relevant.
That was
Todd Haley, not really relevant to my life.
That was just an FFWB, a fun fact with Brad.
Great.
Sorry, an FFWB, a fun fact with Boo.
Why are you combining two? Why are you combining two of your segments now?
Well, it was a good segue segment. Ooh, that could be the name of my show. Segue segment with Boo, and I ride around a Segway.
Positive ID on the bounty target. Let's make this quick.
Shouldn't we get one show off the ground before it's spinning off?
I know that
the segment.
Do you think there's any chance that Boo Radley could drive a Segway? Like, you have no coordination.
Yeah, I have.
I would assume that you crashed it into a lake.
No, Segways, it's all mental.
Then my double. You would crash into a lake quicker.
No, there's no lakes in Baltimore.
A bay, whatever. Also, there's a chance that you weren't in Baltimore.
Well, when's the last time I wasn't? I mean, that's not true. I travel all the time.
Kind of. If you count Atlantic City as an extension of Baltimore.
No, I haven't been in Atlantic City since May? No, March. March of last April of last year. But
Is that another fun fact with Boo?
no, but I will be going to Atlantic City in March. If anyone would like to see me, I'm performing stand-up at the Tropicana. I'm just kidding. That's not true.
Great. All right, is your segment over? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, and also it's time for Boo Radley to go to the Boo room and have a Boo nap.
God. I hate you. Tomorrow
night I'm going over to the house for about dinner, and then I'll be all good to talk.
Yeah, unlike tonight.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, bitches.
Great.
Shabbat Shalom.
2726. Let's get out of this.
Are you trying to hack your way off the call?
Sounds like he might have left.
30% chance that happened. You got a kill.
Yeah, there's another guy here somewhere.
Okay, so Lil Dub. There's a lot of ground to cover here. When you first met Dixie's his name, by the way. What did you know he was going to be an internet sensation?
Safe zone. Gas is closing in.
No.
That's a great
It's
question.
still not. It's still not. I'm not convinced of it yet.
Well, he's a budding sensation, obviously.
Trying.
Still young. Still got time.
Watch the skies.
All right. So what was the most embarrassing thing that he's done at work? Or outside of, I guess if you guys have hung outside of work, that would be fine as well.
If there's anything ever embarrassing
There has to be.
that I can think of. Well, to be honest, me and Muscle T or whatever his name is, we're usually the drunkest ones, so I'm probably right there with him in the shenanigans. So, I don't know.
Yeah, what about our trip to Virginia?
Yeah, that one was rough. We were going on a work trip, and me and
Position marked. Airstrike.
Dixie
Hit it. Got your
were
Cluster strike is active.
lost. That was the worst thing. That was so bad.
What were you guys doing in Virginia?
For work.
It was for work, and we met up with some coworkers that were down there, because they had other offices down there. And it just was, I don't know. It was a lot of drinks, way more than I should have ever had. And what was that, like a van? It was a van, right?
Yeah, it was a minivan.
It was a minivan. And I guess when me and Dixie got in the car, we both, slid all the seats back, the two back seats, and, left them because we, passed out. And then they were like that.
In the van?
In the van, yeah.
Ooh.
50
You were
in the AO.
rough. I don't know. Well, we woke up, Dixie woke up,
Watch the skies.
Yeah, I was fine.
nothing happened. Nothing happened. He was, fine. I was so hungover. It was, the worst thing. I should not have drank that much.
I just want to point out, so we went down there, and we were meeting up with, people we've never really talked to before.
Yeah,
and
never,
so,
yeah.
the first time, I saw them, I'm like, hey, these guys, they're like, yeah, I'm like, so we're doing shots, right? So we started off doing
That's
shots.
Kind of a baller way to introduce yourself.
I am pretty baller.
That is unlike you.
I don't think they couldn't hang. They all left before, me and Dee were still me and Dixie, oh my God, this is hard. Dixie was
Told you.
going for a long time after them. They couldn't hang with us.
I think that's one of those things, you first get to the prison and you just punch the biggest guy you can find. It just sets it to, you don't actually have to be a tough guy, but people just have a different idea of you.
Mhm. Yeah. They liked us after that.
Yeah. And then our Vegas trip, I drank a lot.
Yeah.
It was an all-you-can-drink, bar.
Well, the funniest thing didn't happen to Dixie, but remember when we were at that little, because they had a mixer, right? It was a work mixer thing. And one of the employees of the company that we were there was I can't even get it out. There was like a infinity pool, like around where everybody was like sitting. She fell in with everything, all her clothes.
Yeah, she was just walking. Yeah, she was walking, and then all of a sudden she's in the pool. It was hilarious.
She just didn't see the pool?
It was probably the worst. First of all, who in Vegas puts like an infinity pool in the middle of the bar? Dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life.
Are you kidding? It's a brilliant idea.
She said she wasn't even drinking, so she was sober doing this.
Well, she said she was sober.
Well,
definitely red flag raised there.
But that was so funny, and I still can't believe they put that pool. And I can't believe, first of all, that the work function would have picked that location for that reason. Like, to me, I was like, as soon as I walked in, I said, somebody's going in the pool.
Yeah, you got drinks around the pool. Yeah,
that is a great place to pick. That's like it's the it's the survival of the fittest test.
Oh my God!
If you fall in the pool, you're out. You're fired.
Oh, she had to be so embarrassed, and she left. I mean, she left.
I mean, I would leave too.
Was the other guy? Was the other guy we know there?
No.
Where was he?
He wasn't part of the program.
No.
What program?
This is for the program that I was working on.
Some part of the company to Vegas, and not other part.
No, they had a conference, so we were there for the conference.
Yeah.
Conference. Vegas is a great place for conference.
Yeah, it was great because the first day they flew us in the night before, and then when we got there, they're like, we really should have flown you guys in the next day because there's no reason for you guys to be here. So we just said fuck it, and we literally went to like the strip and hung on the strip like for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
That sounds like a perfect. I think 5 minutes back, by the way. That sounds like a perfect work trip. It starts out with like this fake premise that something's going to happen. It's very clear nothing will. And then you get to just hang out in Vegas for how long?
Well, we were at the strip for like, for half a day, but the rest of it was like 3 days, or was it 3 or 4 days?
Yeah, I think it was a total of 3 days. So it was really 2 days that we were really, whatever you want to call it, like going to actual conferences.
Pretending.
Yeah, but the first day we really weren't. I think there was only like one that night. That's why they said they should have flown in that night or by that afternoon. So we would have just the one night function and then started the morning, right?
Yeah.
That was their fault. But part of that was, wasn't it flight? Like, wasn't there no flights or something like that?
No, there was flight, but it was bad weather, so we didn't even think about it. But if we came the next day, we definitely wouldn't have made it on time.
Well, that's true. Yeah, because Cleveland was having weather. Yeah.
3 days in Vegas. Kind of idea.
You made it to the top.
Well, I got lucky because when we were checking in, the one woman just pulled me off to the side, like to start checking in, and I got on the 9th floor with a huge room. Yeah,
your room was massive.
And they got like the small, tiny rooms all next to each other down on like the 3rd floor. I was like, sucks to be y'all.
Well, it's because we were on the actual like conference floor room, so like the room was on the conference floor, so we didn't have to go up or down. But the rooms upstairs where you were fucking massive.
Massive. It was great. I loved it.
It's kind of mistaken to put rooms on the same floor as the conference itself.
I mean, it's convenient because you just
like. That's unusual.
Yeah, but it's convenient.
Well, and it basically, like, I forget, like, the first floor kind of had, like, obviously, like, the
casino stuff.
No, because the casino was on the 2nd floor, and the conference was on the 3rd floor. That's why you didn't need a key to get into those floors.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Remember?
You're right.
And cause for me, I had to have my key to even get to my room through the elevator because you couldn't go above the 3rd floor if you didn't have a key.
Yeah. That was the trip. Yeah, that was the trip where I was in the elevator with our boss, and there was 2 girls in there, and they just started cacawing.
What?
Yeah, they're just cacawing.
You can't. I like that you said that like that's just a thing that could happen.
It just happened. We were going up to the third floor, and the whole time they were cawing.
Were you were in the elevator with them?
Yeah, for 3 floors, and they were just like staring at us, cawing at us.
How loud were they cawing?
Well, they were very drunk.
Story.
Of course, you heard it.
Did I not listen to it?
You probably didn't.
That tracks. What
I ignore you.
What do you mean they were cawing?
Like they're just saying like caw.
Like they were doing a bird impression, or just casually saying it? Like, oh, do your perfect impression of it.
Caw.
Okay, so, wait. I have a question on this. Were these like young girls or were like old ladies?
They were younger.
I'm gonna guess.
They were younger.
I would put them at like 22.
Yeah, they were definitely very young and very drunk.
Wouldn't you say they were on drugs as well?
Very possible, actually.
I would have to assume. I've been drunk a lot. I've never really had the instinct to caw at someone. I do have a buddy that is notorious for that, though. And he does only do it when he's hammered and not on drugs.
Some people are strange. I know Dixie was not there for this, but at the same job we worked at, he hadn't worked there yet, we had a girl that would bark at her desk.
Okay, I wasn't there for that.
I need a couple more details, please.
Yeah, she would just bark at her desk.
Was your coworker a dog?
She was weird.
When
she
would
said she said she would do it so she wouldn't swear, and I'm like, I would much rather hear you swear than bark.
Oh, for sure.
Wait, what?
Yes, she was weird.
So she would get mad at someone if she just started barking.
Yes.
That's amazing.
She was nutsies, and
what do you mean?
Some story. Okay, so apparently I'm just gonna tell all stories about people because I find them funny.
That'd be great. That's exactly what we were looking for.
So she was married to her husband for like, I don't know, years. Okay, let's just say 10 years. I can't remember. And they weren't having sex for like the last, I don't know, few years. Okay, he flat out told her he was not attracted to her. Fine.
Yikes. Why did they stay together?
Because she was desperate. It doesn't, women.
The barking girl?
Yeah, women.
Can't imagine.
Women. So. So they had a friend, like a mutual friend or whatever, like, how you guys are all couples and friends and stuff. Okay, so they were biker people. So they were at like a biker.
Ew. Wait, what do you mean by biker? You mean bicycle or you mean like
motorcycle?
Like oh, okay.
Motorcycles, yeah. So they were like part of I don't know. She tried to give me stories about how she's in some motorcycle club. Weird.
I think they're called gangs. I don't think you just joined a club.
Well,
I'm in this club where you ride motorcycles.
We kill people on the side. It's really fun.
Yeah, so they were at some function, and mind you, it was kind of like a conference. I don't know what it would be called, but where they all get together and they hang out with their bikes or whatever. So there were hotel rooms. So they were
was it a gang war? It's probably a gang war.
It probably was.
No.
Definitely.
They don't meet for conferences, I don't believe.
So she and her husband and all them go, and apparently her friend and her husband went into the hotel room together.
Oh.
Bad side.
Okay. So I know. So then she told me, she was like crying to me about this. I don't even know why I'm telling you guys the story. It's actually really funny. She was like, I went there and I knocked on the door and they answered it and told me I couldn't come in and shut the door.
Oh.
I was like, and she didn't even like cause a stink. I was like, listen.
Oh boy.
It would be a problem with me. So
I would hope so.
He was cheating on her with this friend.
Obviously.
In front of her.
Blatantly in front of her. And
is it cheating at that point? Like if she knows?
I don't know. Well, true. Well, of course she said she didn't know, but in reality.
Well, clearly she knew at some point.
Right. Well, I think she always knew. I don't think she wanted to admit it.
Yeah.
I think she was just one of those girls who, like, a husband was validation for her, that somebody, like, wanted her, like, you know what I mean?
Women.
Women, right?
Jeez. Women.
Women.
Barking women.
So, the caveat of the
Classic
story
trope.
is they end up divorcing, and he married that other girl.
Oh.
That is.
I'm trying to understand how a person can find validation in being wanted if clearly the person doesn't want you.
Yeah, she's.
Well, I mean, she was not a looker. Okay.
The girl who barks? Oh my god.
Yeah, she looks similar to, you remember Mimi from, what was that sitcom with
The
the
Drew
blue?
Carey show.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. She looks like her, like that actress, or she looks like Mimi makeup and all?
Makeup and all.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a
She
person
also
that exists in the world?
And on her desk, she had pictures of herself, those old 80s glamour shots, because she was older.
Oh, no.
She was like in her 50s, you know. So, you know, she was like in her 20s in the 80s. So she had those old 80s like glamour shots on her desk of herself.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Was she a looker in those glamour shots?
No. She looked like a younger version of Mimi from the Drew Carey show.
Oh no.
Makeup and all, I'm telling you, the blue eyeshadow went from like her lid to her eyebrow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, she was.
This is a very sad story you just told.
I'm the only one that thought it was
Top to bottom.
I only find it funny because you were, like, for her, she was stupid enough to stay with your husband knowing he was cheating. That's your own fault.
There's a lot to dig it. There's a lot. If we're gonna like really take 2 minutes and dig into the story, like, holy crap. The pictures on the desk is really. You got it.
Okay.
That's
Muscle or there's the people we worked with.
No wait. Have you when you saw the when Muscle V first showed up to work? Were you thrown off by his glamour shots that he has of himself?
I had a lot.
No.
Too many, right? It's just a couple too many.
If I remember correctly, he came in, so we were a very casual workplace, so we all wore just like, you know, t-shirt and jeans, hoodies, didn't matter what we wore. He comes in like a dress-down shirt and slacks. Mind you, when he came in for the interview, he saw how we were all dressed.
No, they didn't tell me because.
Wait, didn't you go? Wait, you went like that every day to work, right?
At the different company I did, and then when I went to this company, nobody told me what the dress code is. So the first day I was like, well, I'll just dress up, and worst case scenario, I just won't dress up the next day.
You just got diced in the air.
Yeah, it's bad.
Were we living together when you were working here?
I started working there in 2015, 16.
Oh, so not even close. That was when I moved to the bus. Okay.
So I have a question for you, Debbie.
Debbie.
Lil Dub.
Debbie was funnier. Okay.
So I want to know, before tonight, and you were invited to join this little chat, had you ever heard of us? Had we ever talked about or mentioned us ever?
I can answer this question.
Yes, I
She was at the wedding.
Zero chance.
She was at the wedding.
Absolutely zero chance.
yeah, you guys were I was at the wedding.
That doesn't count if he talked about us like saying who we were at the wedding.
I know one of you was the best man.
That's Jeeves. Yeah,
no,
Jeeves.
But I'm not asking about like that. I'm saying like.
Yeah, if he just pointed to us and
wedding,
said that was our person, like that doesn't count.
In casual conversation, did he ever say, "Oh, let me tell you about my friend Boo Radley and what he did"? Like,
No.
did he ever
You guys are embarrassing. You guys are embarrassing. Why would I talk about you?
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
That's why you talk about your friends, isn't it?
And I say this with all due respect. That is not surprising.
Not even a little
because
bit.
never once has he mentioned you, and I was very confused when he said he had a friend that was joining us.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I didn't think he knew people other than us.
He called me.
Are you in his softball league?
No, that's another guy. That's another guy.
Well, then, yeah, we don't know who you are. I mean,
Yeah,
we've gotten to know you now, but...
We invite him to parties that we hold.
Why?
Yeah, I want to hear this why as well.
Why we invite him?
Yeah. Like a pity thing or what?
He's actually kind of funny.
That doesn't track.
And he is
Well,
usually
wait.
the main
Yeah,
punching bag,
just
so...
Do you mean he tells
listeners, I want to clarify what you meant by that, because it sounded like you were saying that he is a humorous person that makes people laugh intentionally. What you obviously meant was he's funny to laugh at.
Like
Exactly,
like with Boo Radley. Like, watching him is... Okay.
He's the easiest one to pick on.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. That's his facsimile, yeah.
Okay. Well, Dixie, sorry, you're very predictable.
Wait, have you heard the story of the very early in our college days?
Which story are you gonna tell?
The one at the Burger King.
Oh,
You
that's
should tell
cool. I figured you. Okay.
Geez, you gotta join the game, by the way. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm joining. Are you okay with the internet hearing this story?
Well, let's get this story.
Yeah, that's probably smart. I was thinking about as an intro. As an intro. Well, they will. When they go back and hear the art, we have to get super famous before we tell that story.
Yeah, that's money worth. I have to make some money to that story to come out.
He robbed a Burger King. It's not that big of a deal.
That did not happen.
Is that the story that's going to make him go viral?
Probably.
V?
I was thinking about the any number of puke incidents he's had.
I'm surprised he throws up. I have not.
Oh my God! What?
I haven't thrown up a lot recently, but in the early college days, there was a lot of throwing up, especially after that. After that party where we beat the Marines. Or we were.
I was going to say the Marines, where you were puking while walking.
Yeah,
it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. We did kick some Marines' asses at beer pong.
I swear me and V or Dixie are very similar because I've puked while walking and I've also puked while I was driving. So.
Well, I never puked while I was driving.
Follow-up questions. What do you mean you puked while walking?
I was wasted and was trying to get to the bathroom.
You're not gonna believe this. I worked that out.
Yeah.
No way.
I started vomiting. I couldn't stop it. I just was trying to get to
Did you continue to walk forward, or did you start to run, or did you just start to catch? How did you handle it?
How did I handle this? I just puked.
I can tell you how much he handled it.
I kept going straight because I was trying to get to the bathroom.
So no change in pace whatsoever?
Just for the initial out, and then it would keep going.
Wait, so you stopped and puked, though?
Because my body had to. I didn't
Now see, this is where you and Dixie depart.
Oh, because did it go all down the front of him, and then he just kept going? Because I hit it on myself.
He didn't really try to.
I was graceful.
In front of him, so he didn't actually hit himself. But he also didn't bend over. He stayed upright.
Yeah.
Did it get all over you? That's gross. See,
no, it did not get on him. I actually don't really know
how
it worked.
It's called skills.
It was crazy. He was kind of just he kind of lumbered. You've seen him. He lumbers.
And then I was fine.
He doesn't go fast, so there's no concern there. And he pukes forward. It makes no contact with he makes no effort to try to avoid it. He pukes, it lands in front of him, and he just kind of keeps casually walking and casually puking.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me, although
He didn't stop, he didn't bend over.
Stop the one thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't...
Well, I didn't want it on me.
Right, no, that's a reasonable thing. You did the right thing. I just don't know the physics that stopped him from getting puke all over him. I can confirm he didn't get puke on him.
Are you sure it didn't go, inside his shirt?
No,
man, you were here, you watched it, right?
It did not hit me. I did not have any puke.
I didn't, pat him down and...
Hostile drop into the area.
I mean, he didn't puke on himself, I don't think.
You gotta tell that bathroom story after the whiskey.
The bathroom story after the
sophomore year when our bathroom had puke everywhere.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Just to finish the previous one, I did puke in the Jimmy John's parking lot while the car drove by. So just for fairness, we were doing some damage that night. Completely forgot about this. So me and Dixie lived together for the first 2 years of college, and we enjoyed drinking, as you've heard already. Sophomore year, we kind of we got weirdly lame. Like we were in one of those dorms where people didn't really the doors automatically shut, and so no one really wanted to hang. So which is not good for our friend group. We'd already been thoroughly entrenched as friends, and so basically we just ended up playing asshole competitively by ourselves every day for I don't know 3 months maybe.
It was a while, yeah.
It was a really bad look for us. But one of the things we discovered was that somehow we got a hookup because we were all still 20 at the time.
Yeah.
So we got some hookup to buy us booze, and what the move we started doing was we would go buy Canadian Club whiskey for $5.
It was $5. Yeah.
And just split it, and you would just be hammered by the time you finished it. It was just a perfect combo and super cheap. I want to say it was early in this run we discovered it, but not the end.
Yeah, we each got our own whiskey. We each got our own bottle.
Yeah, we decided to be a good. It was such a good deal. Why wouldn't you? And also we were super cheap, so we weren't gonna dump it out. We finished it.
I would say, were they little bottles or big bottles?
No, they were good sized bottles.
It was a weird shape. I want to say it was it wasn't a liter, but it was
probably 750.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't even remember who bought them for us. I think it was Jeff, right?
I don't know.
Or is this when you got you would go into the gas station and they just assumed you were an old?
No, this wasn't it Jason? Not Jason. Who's the Asian guy?
Not a person.
Asian guy, your fraternity.
Jared.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He got it for us a couple times, I think.
Anyway, so the first time that we tried to drink them on our own, Muscle V got super tense. I mean, we all did. We were all feeling good. But the way that Dixie expressed himself was he passed out in our bathroom, which is fine. That's a thing people do.
Oh God.
When I went in there to check on him, he was spinning for some reason. And I looked, and he somehow managed to get puke on 3 out of our 4 walls.
Okay, that's not what happened. First off,
that is exactly what happened.
No, you went out because I couldn't move, and then when you came back, all the walls had puke on it, and you're like, hey, what did you do?
I remember it wasn't all 4. It was 3.
It was 3, and you're like, hey, what did you do? I was like, I don't know.
On one hand, it was kind of nice because one of the walls was our shower, so that was easy to handle. But one of them was our toilet, and one of them was the not door wall.
I hope you made him clean it up.
He did.
Absolutely. I would never have cleaned it up. I would have just started using other parts of the room.
Oh my God, gross.
Yeah.
Dixie.
Hey, you cleaned it up, no problem.
Coming up. UAV beginning flyover.
It was like in a rainbow pattern too.
So, Muscle D, did you not know which direction you were leaning towards when it was happening?
There was no throwing up that happened that day.
UAV is out of fuel. Returning for resupply.
Just on the wall?
It was somehow magically ended up on the wall.
Yeah, there's a reason.
I feel like you had to have been leaning up against the wall to catch your balance, kind of when you're spinning, and you were just too dumb to realize that you weren't in the right direction.
None of that.
I think he was. I do feel like I saw you spin. I feel like he was sitting down and puking towards the wall. He was kind of. He was like, oh, that wall's good. I'm moving on. This wall's good.
Well, I'm pretty sure that night we finished the whole bottle. At least I did. I know that.
Yeah, but then it all came back up.
It all did come back up. Yeah. I do not remember throwing up at all that night. Like, it's not even a memory.
That's what you want. I don't remember you being too banged up afterwards.
Yeah, well, yeah, the worst is when you know you're doing, because then it gets, kills your buzz, right? You don't feel well, and so at least it didn't kill your buzz, right?
I felt amazing the whole time.
I don't think throwing up kills your buzz.
Oh, it does for me. I think it's, well,
No, specifically to Muscle V.
No.
I think for the average human it would.
Okay, yeah, maybe. I would say for me, I'm like, the second I'm puking, I'm angry, because that was the point of the party.
Yeah, you've undone all the work that you did prior to that. Yeah. And
now I just feel like I'm going to die, because not only are you puking, you're extremely dehydrated, right? So you're like dying of thirst.
It's in the worst situation possible. And you're still you might still be out, which is also a bummer.
Right.
All right, so my favorite Dixie throw-up story, though, is not a drinking story. I'm trying not to get shot. 1 second. So we also lived together after college.
Yep.
And we pretended to try to be in shape. We would work out. I felt like 1.5 times a week. Is that fair?
We went every single day at one point.
Okay. Yeah, that's where you're in the muscle Venus.
Yeah. Super muscly.
Muscle V.
Yeah, we went.
He made the attempt.
We went 14 times a week. It was great.
We lived in the gym. We didn't even work.
Yeah, we didn't even have to pay rent anywhere else. We were just in the gym all the time. Anyway, one time we came up. I have no domestic skills, and for some reason, Dixie's fine with cooking for anyone. He doesn't take orders, but he will make you whatever he's making himself.
Yep.
Which is great. Works for me. I have no preference as a non-cook. On this particular day, he made steak, which was great. Again, this is a pretty common move for him. We're sitting down to watch TV, and I start eating food. It's normal. And he goes to take a bite out of his steak. And right as it's crossing the threshold of his mouth, projectile pukes into his plate. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And for no reason. We went from being perfectly fine to just puking actively on his food. I dropped my plate laughing because it's super funny. And Dixie runs out of the room and yells, "Why is this happening to me?" I think it was the single greatest moment of my life.
That is hilarious, although I probably would have been puking with him because, once I see it, I'm done for it.
Yeah, but that's not you being embarrassing. The craziest thing, how do you have zero detection that you're about to puke?
Exactly. That's the better question. Did you ask him?
Well,
yeah.
Afterwards, he came back in. He was just fine. Obviously, he didn't eat his food.
Yeah.
I went and got Penn Station, but he was perfectly fine the rest of the night.
Okay, did you feel bad, Dixie? Before you were eating, or you just...
No, it had to go down wrong or something. I'd have no explanation for it.
No, you hadn't taken a bite yet. I know this for a fact.
I did. I mean, why else would I have thrown up?
I don't know. I know it's literally you were about to take your first bite.
Watch the skies.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen a perfectly sober person do.
Sometimes you throw up on your steak.
You're an idiot. Oh my God, you're an idiot.
Well-known idiom. Sometimes you throw up on your steak.
The fact that you guys haven't heard that before is terrible.
What?
The fact that you guys haven't heard that before is terrible.
You never told me.
The idiom, not the story.
Yeah, the idiom.
Would tell that story.
Yeah.
No one would tell that story about themselves. And then I threw up on a steak. You do sometimes.
It's a regular Tuesday.
I think it was a Tuesday. When you were running out of the room yelling, "Why is this happening to me?" Like it was the perfect comedic moment as you.
That's
you know.
the best part of the story.
It's great. It's the funniest thing you could possibly yell in that situation.
Like, the throwing up part is whatever. It can be gross, but it's hilarious, like an idiot.
I lost my dinner, guys. Is there any sympathy there? I lost my dinner.
Well, my thing is who paid for the steaks? Because I feel like you'd be more pissed that you paid X amount of dollars for the steak.
Oh, we split it. We paid
Yeah.
It wasn't the nicest cheap Mark's steak or whatever.
No, it was like Restaurant Depot is where I would get steak.
We didn't ever go to Restaurant Depot. I don't know what you're talking about.
Bounty target has been
I did.
I don't even know what that place. I don't even know what that place is.
Yeah, it's a place where restaurants go to buy their stuff, and I have a membership through my aunt.
You as a restaurant?
No, I have a membership through my aunt.
What are you talking? Okay. Did you go without me? I've never been to or heard of this place.
Probably.
Okay. So how much did we pay for the steak?
It wasn't that expensive.
Okay.
Or not very expensive steak.
Cheap V being like upset that he didn't even get to enjoy.
Well, I think we were trying to work out like the mystery of the moment, like what the hell happened.
Yeah, it was very mysterious. You don't just throw up on your steak.
I thought you do. I thought that's a well-known thing people do. So you're telling me you have no throw-up stories of him whatsoever?
Not when we would go out drinking. I can't think of any.
Yeah, I don't think I threw up.
At least not. I mean, if you did when he went home, I don't know anything about that. But
oh, I threw up after that one night after we went for your birthday.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, I threw up on when I got home.
Bad. We were out drinking at a Mexican restaurant, which was the first mistake.
Oh, that's a classic maneuver.
Because if
you're gonna throw up, you want to throw a margarita. Everyone.
You know, I totally forgot. So you guys will love this story, and it's been a story that goes on forever.
Get to the marked location and defend
it.
Like to this day, it's going on.
To this,
enemy soldier nearby.
It's brought up a lot because it was a very interesting moment with coworkers who we are close friends. You guys have already told, okay. So it was my birthday, and we were gonna go to we went to the Mexican restaurant because I really like that place, and of course you get margaritas, right? And they're right.
You don't go to a Mexican restaurant for your birthday if you're not getting a margarita.
Right. So we all go there, and Dixie, were you new? I think you were newer.
That was my first year. Like, you still didn't like me at this point. Like, you still thought I was a douche, which I wasn't.
Right, because I think
you don't have to justify that. Of course you thought it was.
When we got closer, because the night got weirder. So we were drinking or whatever, and the first thing that was bad, me and my best friend, she worked with us. Actually, Pants. We went outside because she smoked. Don't ask me what we were talking about. I have no idea.
We'll just
what were you talking about?
Yeah, make up something.
I don't know, but all of a sudden we started touching each other's food. I don't know.
Oh.
And while you guys are doing that, while you guys are doing that.
The time that this has happened?
The whole restaurant saw it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Once you find out there's boob touching, everyone's gonna go.
So there were a couple.
Just real quick, Lil Dub. So the people sitting next to us literally looked at us and said, "Your friends are touching each other's food."
It was so bad.
Why would you inform? Wait, I got this question first. Why would you ever tell someone that? Like, why would you blow up their spot?
They wanted us to know.
What if they're just in a couple? That'd be a super weird thing to turn and say.
It gets worse.
Okay.
So we go back in, and we're still drinking, and and Pants.
Contract complete. Recon intel
started taking her shirt off and her bra.
That wasn't at the restaurant. This was at someone's house afterwards.
No, it was at the restaurant.
Is this when she got the name Pants? Because that was all that was left?
No, we had to tell her in the restaurant to put her shirt down. Me and, can I use a real person's name? So.
If it's boring and normal, definitely.
Well, Shateria.
Obviously you cannot use that.
Okay. Okay. I don't know.
I said boring and normal. You thought whatever the fuck you just said is normal. What cartoon world do you live in?
I don't know. We were like, oh my god, she has her tits out.
It's sitting at the table.
In the restaurant.
Now you had just touched them. Were they good boobs to have out, or was it like, what are you doing?
I've seen them a million times.
That's not the question. Are they good? Are they good to display boobs?
Yes, you would love to look at them.
Okay. Then this makes sense then. How many margaritas has Pants had?
Honestly, we were
did she just start drinking one and she was like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna get my boobs
No, we were very deep in because the waiter was really hot, and we had been going into there a lot, and he's this really big Mexican guy with like a ton of tattoos. So we nicknamed him the Bull. So, because I think his real name, we did end up finding what his real name was later, but we would always call him the Bull. For like 2 years, we would go in there and we'd always call him the Bull. And he was the one that kept supplying us.
Was Pants trying to be the Matador?
I was trying to be the Matador. Well, he wanted to go home with us. Both of us, actually. It got weird.
Well, yeah, once all the boob touching, yeah.
But he was the one supplying us with the margaritas. We didn't pay for the last, 2.
Oh. So interesting. Will
he
you buy me back, by the way?
Oh, I didn't know you were dead.
That makes sense.
So, then at the end, were you there all the way to the end, Dixie?
I was there.
The Dixie's not leaving this restaurant.
I was there. We went back to.
Boobs are on the table.
Well,
you're staying.
Right, I meant yeah, you stayed because a lot of people started leaving, but you left the restaurant at the same time we did.
Yeah, I went with you guys to what's his name's house.
So then we had a friend, and he was like, oh, do you want to come to my house and smoke pot? And we're like, oh my god. So we go over to his house. We're still all.
Has Pants put her shirt back on yet?
Yes, but when we get to his house, her bra starts coming off again.
Like on accident, the wind's really just ripping my bra off.
Purpose. I think she had to free him.
She was also doing a lap dance on her current boyfriend.
Oh, that actually changes the story a little bit too.
And then Dixie was getting kind of sleepy, and he didn't realize. Or no, it was what's her face?
It was the other one.
Yeah, another friend that was there was getting sleepy and didn't realize that she was like
sleeping on the bra.
Basically inside the bra. Oh my god. It was so bad. That night was horrible in the sense of just terrible stuff.
So I assume it ended in an orgy. Is that fair? Clearly where that story is building.
No, everybody ended up leaving later. Oh my god, I don't remember how long we were at his house.
We were there for a while, and then we started playing Heads Up. No, not Heads Up. We started playing Cards Against Humanity, and I was like, I gotta go home. And then I come home.
Everyone's super hammered move.
Yeah, it was. And his house was. Okay, because he's a heavy weed smoker. I mean, by the time we got there, just by walking in his house, you already had a contact button.
Yeah.
Instant. And then he starts passing it around again, right? And then, you're all completely out of your mind. So you're like, sure. And he, literally passes joints like Snoop Dogg. No joke. He is a definite, just keep passing it, and we're going to do this all night. Oh, man.
I thought you meant he asked while he passed it.
Oh, no. He's a professional weed smoker.
That's
professional at it.
That's awesome. That's exactly who you want to end the night at party-wise.
Yeah, that was bad. The worst part about that story is it was a bunch of coworkers.
Oh my god, I forgot about that part. That's batshit crazy.
So I did lose a point on that one, G, because I did die in the gas, so I only got one on that one.
I died in the gas earlier, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I forgot that piece to the story.
It was all coworkers.
Okay. You guys got a lot of time for one more game? So, like 7.5 minutes?
I gotta go to bed. I'll talk to you guys next
I was
time.
gonna say, you provided nothing on the chat. Well, I can't believe you just stayed silent through that crazy ass. No, this is his fault. I can't believe you stayed silent through that crazy story.
I was listening to the story. I didn't want to interrupt it.
I've met you. You have comments. There's no way that you have no comments through that whole thing.
I'm tired. Leave it.
I'm tired.
All right, I'll talk to you
later.
Bye.
Yep.
So, is that the only crazy work party you guys have had? Or I have to assume at this point that you guys are visiting strip clubs as your work meetings.
No. I don't think, Dixie, you were with us at the other one where me and Pants ended up at some random guy's house, and then he was
that's for bowling, right? That's for bowling?
Yeah, we were basically like
that is
hostage.
Crazy. You don't just end at a guy's house at bowling.
He was very strange. He got very attached to me, and I don't know why we went back to his house. I have no idea. It was the dumbest thing we ever did. But he just would not let me go. Like, he literally kept holding on to me and wouldn't let me leave his house.
Oh. So I assume because you're sharing this didn't end up being a horrifying note. I assume you got away at some point.
Right. Well, because Pants finally, we came out of our stupor, right?
Enemy dropping into the AO.
And we were like, oh my god, we have to go. Like, first of all, where the fuck are we? Dude, we gotta go. Like, we have to go. We're in the strange guy's house that we've never met until, 2 hours ago. Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah, I was not there.
You were at a guy's house for 2 hours?
Training's over.
We had been drinking for 2 hours, and then, yes, we were at his house for, 2 hours.
Yeah, that's problematic. He wasn't part of your bowling gang?
No, so it was, the bar has a bowling alley in it.
Most bowling alleys do.
Yeah, we never did, the bowling.
Wait, no, you said that backwards. The bar has a bowling alley just on the
Yeah,
people go to the bar, but it happens to have a bowling alley?
Yeah.
Okay, did you never go bowling in Solon, I mean, geez.
I don't think so. Where was there? I can't identify where a bowling alley would be.
Suggest you start running.
Where was it?
On the corner of Bainbridge.
I lived in Twinsburg at one point, by the way.
Solon. It was right by Mustard Seed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that identifies nothing. Is that is that a place?
Oh, you didn't know what Mustard Seed is? I thought that was
I noticed the
grocery store.
Oh. To get into Solon, we had to pass both Heinen's and Giant Eagle. There's no way I was going to keep going past those.
Well, that's true. So basically, it's on the corner of Solon. Is it Solon Road and Bainbridge?
Yeah, I think so.
Hunt the enemy.
Solon Road and Bainbridge.
Move to the next area.
Yeah, that would be too far. I would have had to pass through all of Solon.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not there that night because there's no way I would have gone to some random guy's house with you guys.
Yeah, right.
I can't.
So you met bowling. You shouldn't meet people bowling.
I wasn't bowling. I was drinking.
Yeah, we didn't go there to bowl. We went there to drink.
Bar, yeah.
That's still a weird choice to go to, unless it's a great bar.
We went there for St. Patty's Day. We got free shots. I remember that.
Yeah, we did.
That was sweet.
Can you stay alive?
Yeah, but there's a guy sniping somewhere.
They're gonna be targeted.
You got free shots at the bowling?
Yeah, for St. Patty's Day.
Mhm. And we got a lot of them too.
We did a lot of shots that night.
6 of them. I think we got 6 of them free.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the little ones, the sampler ones. So I mean, I guess in reality it would be 4.
The sampler shot.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
Well, they're little.
You can't order a sample of a shot. That's just a shot.
We didn't order them. She was giving them out as trial.
Yeah, is it like their theme or whatever? Like, here, drink this and buy more.
Yeah, I guess it's been a long time since I've been at a bar. I guess they do that.
Yeah, they're like the smaller shots. They don't give you like full shots. So like combined, it was probably like 4 total.
Yeah.
Even though I think we got like 6 of them.
Have you ever been to a party where they only do the small shots? Like, I did it at a house party once where they didn't have full shot glasses. They just gave you like mini shots.
Why?
It was easily the drunkest I've ever been because it's not enough of the shot that you taste it.
Right.
There's like 5 of them and you don't even notice, which is how they sell it at the bar as well. And oh my God, was I absolutely smashed. I ended up being best friends with 3 people that I've never talked to since.
I could believe that because that's how I felt about those shots that we were taking. It was like kind of like juice because there wasn't enough of it to burn, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yes, that is exactly right. That's the appeal to them.
Yeah.
Now try doing that for a whole party. I think I did like 30 shots, mini shots, but like.
So you did like 15 total shots.
Yeah.
Which is still a lot.
More than I certainly would have done. Yeah, I can definitely say I've never ended up at a random guy's house after any event. I don't think.
You act like that's the first time.
Yeah.
That was just the most recent time.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I don't want to ask that.
Yeah, that was just a more recent one, and that's one that would involve. If I couldn't remember if what's his face was there or not.
Was that your worst decision at least?
No, that's not even close to my worst decision of my life.
Not close. Like objectively, not like how things panned out, but just in the moment, really bad decision.
It probably would have been worse had I didn't go with Pants. I think having her
that would
there
be problematic.
didn't make it quite as terrible because at least one of us is going to look out for the other, right? Like.
Right. How about you, Dixie? Have you ever ended up at a random guy's house?
Once, but no, I'm kidding. Never.
He wouldn't let you leave, and you're like, all right.
I was like, okay, I guess it's fine.
I do like to party. Well, I'm glad you made it out alive. You could have been murdered. And that's not even kind of the worst thing.
That's probably. He was also significantly older than us.
Like old enough that you would have been fine?
He was old enough to be my father.
Oh, that reminds me.
That decision just got worse. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
so there's somebody we know.
Another story?
There's somebody we know whose daughter is dating someone who's like 60 years old, and she's like, what, 20?
Yeah.
Yikes. Well, that's, not necessarily a terrible decision.
And he's rich. If I was 22 and found
I was about to
rich,
say.
that would have been great.
There's some advanced stats to make that. Like, I don't think it's... I'm guessing that they're not going to make it long-term, but...
Well, of course not. She's like 21 or 22. I don't know exactly her age, but screw it. Like, if he's going to buy you stuff.
Yeah, there's like the Anna Nicole Smith thing. Like, you can make it to death do us part.
Right?
We lost that one. We'll come back stronger next time.
Well, all right. This has been fun, but I should get going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lil Dub, we appreciate it. Excellent first-time guest. I think if you join us again, we got way more things to dive into. It sounds like.
Okay. Oh, great. So my whole terrible, tragic story of all of my past terribleness is going to be on the interweb.
Yeah, just forever. So far, no one's seen it yet, I don't think. So it should be. You just have to worry about us getting super famous.
Okay. Got it.
But, I mean, you've also heard the puke stories. So, like, clearly it's in the cards.
I feel like me and Dixie are the butt of these terrible things.
The terrible things that you elected to tell us? I don't think that...
You chose
Well.
that.
That's because I probably don't care. I have no shame.
I didn't say tell me your worst story about you. You just went off.
There's bad ones.
Well, we can't wait to have you next time.
Okay.
Do you have any closing thoughts for us?
No.
Dixie, what do you got?
I think today was a great show. I think we got to keep it up, and let's get some donations happening. So please like and subscribe.
And for you, Internet, I just want to remind you, if you go bowling, do not go back to some random guy's house. This has been fun.
All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
God Daddy's out.